Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Abram Mitchell, and you are now tuned in to the Triple M show, Money Making Mindset. But before we talk about the money, we're going to talk a little bit about the mindset. So today, I got a special guest with me, my boy Ryan Newton, who is a part of Triple M. And today, we just going to talk a little bit about his career in real estate. He got started with us probably about 180 days ago now at this point, and he's had some success in the field. So, Ryan, tell me a little bit about yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. So, got introduced to Abram a little over 3 months ago, and all of last year I kind of spent the year studying real estate because I knew it was an avenue I wanted to take in life. I had just had found out I was having a son back in August. Actually, I lied, December of 2022.
Okay.
And I've been in the automotive industry for 11 years. And I always told myself that whenever I found out I was going to have a family, that I would find my exit strategy from that business.
Mm-hmm. So you found out you was having a son at 21, huh?
Yeah, was it 21?
Because you done had the kid already.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Correct, yeah, 21. So December 2021. Had him August 2022.
All right, cool.
That's right.
So you was in the automotive business. You've been in there for 11 years, you said?
11 years.
All right, and then you said you found out that you was having a son, and that was like a mindset switch for you.
Yeah, it was an instant click for me because in the automotive industry, I get to work sometime, I would say around 8 in the morning, don't get home until 7:30 at night. So that schedule to spend time with family is really non-existent. So I wanted to find some financial freedom, started researching real estate and all the different ways that you can make money in real estate. And actually started looking for my first flip at the beginning of 2023.
Okay.
And I had a really hard time finding a good deal, looking on the market. And I actually ended up buying my first deal from a wholesaler. So that's what led me to wholesaling and led me to your class.
Okay, gotcha. So I want to take it back a little bit on something that's like dawning on me a little bit. So you was in the automotive industry for 11 years, and you said whenever you found out you was having a son, that's when you kind of made the mindset shift that you wanted to get out of the industry.
Absolutely.
And be more present for your family.
Yes.
Just tell me about like why you think you even thought like that at that time, because some people don't even think like that, you know.
So
like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because you making good money in the automotive industry,
making
right?
great money. I mean, I would say I'm in the top 1% of automotive sales consultants in the United States. I mean, I averaged 30 cars a month last year, made well over 6 figures.
Okay. So you're not new to the 6-figure game.
Yeah. I mean, I made over 300,000 last year in the automotive industry, averaged 30 cars a month. But to not have any time with my family, this goes to show you that money isn't everything. So I found my new why in life. And I found that in my girl and my son, soon-to-be son.
Yeah.
So it instantly just shifted a mindset within me that, I need to be a great father figure and have more time to spend with my family. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do that in the car business. I see a lot of guys in the car business that are divorced. They don't get to spend any time with their kids. And it's just a constant everyday grind and struggle in that business.
Yeah, so like basically it is really about the presence of being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the quality of time, because what you working like 8-9 hour days sometimes.
Longer than that, really. I would say on average a minimum of 10 hours a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
You made some good money though.
Yeah, great money.
Made some good money doing
absolutely.
That. So how would you say the automotive industry was like, it helped you like moving forward in that process?
Yeah, so it taught me a lot of sales skills, obviously how to talk to people. I'm predominantly internet sales, so everything I do is over the phone. So it automatically translated into the real estate world and how to talk to people, how to extract information from sellers. And I think that's one of the most important things in wholesaling is gathering the right information from a seller so you can find out their motivation points. It's no different than when I set a client down in automotive sales and I find out what kind of car they want, why they want it, what their budget is, and what their goal is. And then I just use all that information to help them.
Yeah, so like, and now I remember me and you, we talked about this a few times. It's like, Because when you told me, bro, I made 300 grand in the car industry, that's extremely impressive, by the way. You out there working in the sun, busting your ass, not cleaning cars, but going up to clients and basically building that rapport, finding out what they want, and ultimately getting that sale. And you said you had to sell 30 cars a month.
Correct.
To, make that type of money. So as soon as you told me that, I'm like, bro, you realize you put all those hours into working for yourself? Like, it might not start off you making the same amount of money as you are now, but eventually that growth is going to be exponential. So what would you say, like, why real estate? Like, what research you did? Like, what got you into real estate? Because you could have went to stock market, you could have did crypto, you could have Amazon stores. Like, why was it real estate?
So, I mean, obviously real estate's sexy, man. Everybody watches the flip show. So I had a friend who had told me about the BRRRR method, and I had actually heard about wholesaling at the beginning of COVID and kind of looked into it, but I was making such good money in the car business, I wasn't really motivated to make that shift yet. And I knew that real estate would give me financial freedom. Eventually in the long run, especially with buy and hold rentals, things like that. But I knew my hustle of the car business could instantly translate over to the real estate industry. So I looked at every single aspect of how I could make money in real estate, whether it was, I looked at getting my real estate license. I looked at becoming a mortgage broker. I looked at just doing the BRRRR method. I looked at fix and flips, and I looked at wholesaling, and I wanted to see what avenue could get me out of the car business the quickest. And I was like, okay, if I can just flip 3-4 houses, get enough capital set to the side to have my living expenses paid for a year, and still have enough money left over to continue to flip houses, that's going to be my quickest exit strategy. Obviously, the BRRRR method, it might take me 4 or 5 years to replace my income to be able to quit the car business. So I knew fix and flip was going to be my quickest route to get that kind of money, which ultimately led me into wholesaling because I realized how important it was, especially in the Nashville area, to go off market to find your deals.
Nah, bro. And man, one thing that's like ringing loud to me is you had a plan. You had a plan, and I don't know if you wrote it down, but the way that you spitting it, you definitely visualized it. And you knew exactly where you was going. You knew what strategy you was going to take. And at the end of the day, prior preparation prevents poor performance. So you knew, okay, real estate is the avenue that I want to be in. Now let me start doing a little bit of research on that. Through your research, you saw wholesaling was one strategy you could take. BRRRR method was another strategy you could take. Other ways. The point is, there's a lot of ways that you can make money in real estate. But what a lot of people do is it's so much knowledge available in the world, but they start looking at everything and then they get paralysis by analysis. The key thing you said is, okay, I pinpointed down to wholesaling, direct to seller marketing is the quickest way for me to save up enough money to have my living expenses set aside for a year, which ultimately will then make enough sense for you to leave that job that you're in right now. Okay, so what led you to Triple M? Let's talk about that.
So I had actually, William Wilson. Shout out to William Wilson.
Shout out to the Wilson group.
So he actually helped me purchase my home, and at the time, that's when I had found out that I was having the child. When I reached out to him, hey, I need to buy a house. We started looking, and I told him, I said, hey, beginning of next year, I'm going to be ready. I've been saving. I'm going to get into real estate, whether it be all those methods we just talked about. So the beginning of 2023, this year, I reached out to him, and I had a goal set in mind all of 2022, which I did write down my plan. It was save $100,000.
Okay.
And the beginning of 2023, execute.
A lot of people don't do that in a lifetime. You know that, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So it took a lot of discipline.
Yeah, just believing that you could, because I mean, my bad to cut you off, but I mean, before you even get into that, like, did anybody ever put $100,000 in front of you before you even believed you could get to that?
No, I actually, a lot of people said it was corny, but I wrote myself a check for $100,000 at the beginning of 2022, and I posted it up on a wall in my room. And it was a blank check, just written out to myself with $100,000 on it with my signature on it. And it took me exactly 1 year. It was actually January 15th when I had a huge month that December before, when I was able to hit that $100,000 mark.
Okay.
I took a vacation the following week. Went to Hawaii.
Went to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. I worked really hard that year to make the amount of money that I did so that I could save that amount of money also. And at that point, I reached out to Will and I told him, yo, I want to find a rental or a fix and flip, something I can do. And that's when he referred me to you. Okay. I started watching your videos on Instagram. And I had obviously, there's a lot of trainers out there and a lot of people, a lot of courses that you can take. And what I like so much about you is that I could tell the genuineness in your videos. You were local, and it really didn't seem about money with you. It seemed about you wanting to pass along your knowledge to other people. So that's ultimately what led me to your class.
Nah, I like that, bro, because I got into real estate a non-traditional way. You know what I'm saying? Like, wholesaling is a non-traditional way. You don't have any license, no credit, no money. Basically, what you're doing is middlemaning yourself. You know, in your situation, you had a little money saved up. Yeah. But no matter you got money saved up or you have no money, the main attributes that's gonna get you to that deal is your hustle. 100%. You know? So, even when I started the journey, I always knew that it was gonna be a certain point where I was gonna be in a position to, guide and lead other people in this journey. Because it's like, you just get this feeling that, man, I got this information, I got these keys, and I see a lot of people that's talented out here, and just with a few guided steps, they could, attain, $100,000 saved up, $1 million saved up, financial freedom. Anything that you want to, achieve could be achieved through real estate.
Absolutely.
Because, look at the stats. Like 99% of millionaires are created through real estate. It's just facts. I'm not making that up right now. You can look it up. So, okay, you shot at William, let him know that this is what you want to do. Then ultimately you came across us in the Triple M method, and then you joined. Tell me about like just how that was, like your first few weeks of joining, because I know you still working the job and also starting a business at the same time. So talk to me a little bit about that.
It was tough, man, but I will say the moment that I joined, something instantly clicked in my head and a flip switch, and it was like, all right, it's game time. Now it's time to execute this. So it was tough because I do still work 9 to 6 most days. But fortunately enough, one of your calls was on a Tuesday. But I just made time for it, man. It was a no excuse thing. Like, this is what I want to do. And once you spend that money,
you invested in yourself.
I invested in myself, which a lot of people really, since I started doing this, have already reached out to me and asked me to kind of help or mentor them. And I'm like, hey, first and foremost, you have to invest in yourself. Like, I always talked about putting myself in a room with like-minded people. It's not that easy. You can't just walk into a room with like-minded people. Sometimes you got to pay to get into that room. So for me, it was worth every dollar. It's just paying to get myself in that room around like-minded people, because it's really hard just to find those people and recreate your circle.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, when it comes to, even with me, my first year in the business, I spent $50,000 on myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never looked at like, when I spent money on mentorship or invested into a program or something like that, I always looked at it like, I'm putting this into myself. So how can I lose investing into myself, betting on myself? And it's really less about the money. It's more about the belief you have in yourself. Because again, if you invest into yourself, you in a room with a lot of other people that invested into themselves, then boom, you instantly put yourself in the room with like-minded people because they're willing to do what 99% of people ain't gonna do.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, all the information free. What I mean by that is you can get on YouTube, you can get on Google, you can find the info. There's people that come to me and I give them the game. You go on my Instagram page and I post everything on there for free.
When I tried that route at first, so I started just watching videos on how to wholesale, and I'm sure people watching this have done the same thing, and they're gonna find when you're watching that video, you're gonna get minimal information. You're gonna have questions, and when you're not a part of something like the Triple M method, you're gonna get frustrated because you don't know the answer to that question. Like, one of my questions is, what happens if I go under contract and I can't sell that contract. Like, what happens? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that's not easy information to find, but being a part of your class, when I'm getting trained on things, the ability to be able to stop and ask questions is huge, because I'm an interactive learner. Like, I ask a lot of questions, and that's how I learn.
That's exactly
so it was
how I am.
extremely important for me to have somebody that I could ask those questions to and get those answers.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to somebody about this a few weeks ago. I think it was D. When it comes to mentorship, it's less about the information and the knowledge, and it's more about the guidance.
100%.
It's more about borrowing somebody else's belief and experience. You know, because if I spent the last 5 years making these mistakes, then if someone is in front of me, then I'm not going to let you make the same exact mistakes. You know, I'm going to be able to let you know from my experience, hey, do it this way instead of that way. Of course, you still going to make mistakes along the way. I mean, that's just how you learn. But at the same time, when it comes to mentorship, it's more about the guidance, like you said, being able to ask those questions and then see, you know, how somebody else handle, you know, certain situations in the business.
Right.
So talk to me about your first deal, bro.
So my first deal happened quick, man.
Yeah.
I say I'm very fortunate and blessed that I got that deal quick. I would say it's unfortunate for me that it came so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a lot of grinding to get there, but so my first deal, I was a month in, and I had hired a cold calling company.
Okay.
Which I found through your class.
Yeah.
And I was exactly a month in, and I remember still the day. It was a Saturday at work, and I've still been trying to find ways of fitting this stuff into my current schedule. So I took a couple hours that Saturday, and I went and hid in a back room at work, and I made phone calls.
Like,
and I got no traction in that 2 hours, and I was frustrated. I had a bad day at work. I didn't sell any cars, which on a Saturday is detrimental in the car business.
Because that's the busy day, huh?
Right,
when people got time to go to the car.
So I had spent a little time, obviously, working on the wholesaling stuff, and there was this one lead that I had really been trying to get in touch with. I had called him like 4 or 5 times, sent him text messages, and on my way home, I was like, let me just get a little creative. Let me shoot this guy a text, and I switched up my approach with him. I said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I'm going to be in the Clarksville area tomorrow. Is there any way I could swing by and see your property? And I think at that instant, it made me a real person to him, not just somebody out of state, because he had owned this duplex for several years. So he had an emotional attachment. He had a tenant in place on one side that had been there for 20 years. She had 2 daughters living in the house with her. So he didn't want to just sell the property to just anyone. So I think me saying I was going to be in the area and I actually wanted to stop by and meet him made me a real person. So that phone call was on a Saturday. And it's funny because every time I get frustrated and down on myself, I get that one phone call, man. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, hey, grind it out, because it's just that one phone call that you need, that somebody picks up the phone and says, yes, I'm interested in selling.
Every no bring you closer to a yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went and met him that Sunday. It was a pretty smooth, easy negotiation. His asking price actually was reasonable. I could have gave him asking, but I started about 30 or 40 grand lower than what he wanted. We met somewhere in the middle, got it on contract, and man, I was on cloud 9, like calling everybody like, hey, I did it. So
I remember that day.
Yeah, man. So that was a Sunday. That night, went to work getting it marketed, and I simply just put it in some Facebook investor groups. Got quite a bit of interest. Met a guy that Tuesday and got it locked up and sold. So in a matter of 3 days, made an assignment fee of $32,500 on it. So what it takes me a month and 30 cars to make, I made in a phone call, a trip to Clarksville, and a post on Facebook.
So how much hours of work about?
I mean, honestly, I was putting minimal time into it, but from the moment from that phone call to getting the deal locked up, I mean, maybe 9 hours, if that.
So 32,000 divided by 9. So you made $3,555 an hour.
Yeah.
I think that's impressive.
Felt good.
Nah, that's impressive, bro. So what's next from there? You close your first deal. You realize that you putting that work into yourself is the same as you selling how many cars?
30.
30 cars. So how much hours of that would it take for you to make
For
that
me
money?
to sell 30 cars?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it would take it takes an elite level of focus from the moment that I get to work, and I actually get to work an hour early typically. So from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I have to have just laser focus, because you got to think I don't work 30 days a week. So I'm selling over a car a day.
So that's like a couple $100 then.
And I knew that if I could just, like you said, give half of this energy to real estate, it wouldn't take me 2-3 years to be in the top 10% of real estate investors.
And you're not even, what's crazy is, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. You're not even giving half your energy. You say you only got
100%.
How many days a week?
1 day a week.
So 1 day a week since you joined, and you was able to close a $32,000 deal.
Yes.
Man.
But it's not just that. So you asked what my plan was for the future, and obviously, so I did start a flip the beginning of this year, and that should be wrapping up here within the next month. I'm set to make a good amount on that.
A good amount.
It's in a good area, and I watch this area religiously to see what flips sell for, how fast they sell, and everything I see in this area flies off the market within a week to 2 weeks. So
it's like when you get into real estate.
On wood, yeah.
It's like when you get into real estate. I be telling people this, bro. Once you make that decision to get into real estate, a house will never be the same to you. Like you just said, I've been looking at everything religiously. Yeah. You just studying the market. Yeah. And that's very good. Like, how would you say doing that flip on top of the wholesale deal has been helpful, like just in your career moving forward?
It's helped me understand what really goes into a flip and how to understand how investors think. Mm-hmm. Because it's a big flip that I'm doing. Yeah. And it's
you dove deep. Like you went in head first. Most people wouldn't go in with something like that on their first deal.
And so I think it's really helped me think from an investor's mindset of the numbers matter, also depending on the size of the job, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's something somebody just has to go in and do a lipstick renovation on, maybe they're okay only making $15,000 to $30,000 on it. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that they're going to have to go in like what I'm doing on this house and do a $100,000 renovation, that spread needs to be bigger. Mm-hmm. So it's helped me understand the math on how to look at deals and say, okay, this is a big job, so I need to make sure I lock this up at a lower percentage, because whatever investor is going to want to make a good amount on this, because it's not a 2-3 month flip, it's a 4 to 6 month flip. Yeah. Right? So it's definitely helped me understand how to look at deals a little bit better.
Okay. And what about like the management of the project? Because I know like a 4 to 6 month flip, and $100,000 for your first flip. Yeah. I know it ain't been peaches and cream the whole time.
No, it's been stressful, man. So I'll tell you, if you watch a lot of flipping shows, things like that, like a lot of people only see the sexiness of real estate. They don't see that you're paying $3,000 a month to a hard money lender and pure interest, money that you'll never get back.
What's a hard money lender?
So hard money lender or a private lender is basically a company, from my understanding, is a company that will lend you the money based upon the asset that you're buying, based upon the investment. And they're going to charge you a high interest rate for a shorter term, typically a 6 or 12 month term, and it's going to be amortized over that 6 or 12 months. And while you're making those payments, it's purely interest. It's not something that's paying down the principal. So that's why speed is so quick in investing in real estate. So that was also something that was hard for me to find in the beginning as a rookie investor. Was finding somebody that was willing to lend me the money.
And I mean, it's good. Nowadays, a lot of hard money lenders popped up after the last market crash. Even though, I mean, the rates are crazy, ridiculous. When you line it up versus the bank would have never lended you for a deal. Right. Versus a hard money lender, in most situations, they're not doing a background check. They're not doing a credit check. Like you said, some of them will do a credit check, but again, it's a soft inquiry. They're not really hard like the banks. Right. The key word you said is they're focused on the asset versus the bank is a conventional loan. They're very focused on the person. So as long as you bring them a good deal, and a lot of these hard money lenders are investors, they'll let you know if you're buying it at a good price. Because if they lending you the purchase price plus the renovation, then you know that they looked at this asset and said, hey, if Ryan for some reason can't pay the $3,000 a month, then I'm going to take this property from them and I'm going to be able to sell it and still turn a profit.
Right.
So the key thing you said is the time is the most important thing when you're dealing with those hard money loans. So,
so I've learned just doing this flip how important connections are. So this is another testimonial to your course. Was my contractor had we found out the HVAC, we were going to have to do a full redo on the HVAC. So at first we were just going to do mini splits downstairs.
Okay.
Well, they really suggested doing a split level HVAC.
Okay.
So his guy quoted $12,500 for the HVAC. Through your course, I had met a guy, Soto. Shout out to Soto. He's a lifesaver.
Shout out to Soto inside.
He's the sub king.
Bro, Soto is the sub king.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's gonna be his next nickname.
Yeah.
Get him a shirt.
So it was a simple. I had a conversation with him. I was like, man, I'm going over budget on things. I was like, HVAC just got quoted. We got quoted $6,000 over what I'd expected. He was like, man, call my guy. Called his guy, got it done for $3,000 less than what I was being quoted.
Yeah.
So boom. In my head, that class just made me $3,000 right there. So just having that connection, I would have never had that connection if I didn't be a part of the Triple M community.
And let me ask you this. And one key thing, being a part of the community, you're gonna have other people in there. Everyone's at a different level of experience in real estate. Like Soto and Sari, they wanted to get in the community to source their own deals. They never did off-market deal sourcing, but they've done numerous amount of deals and had real estate experience, had a lot of subs, so they was able to help you with that process in your business. But would you say you learned that if someone's gonna do that first flip, would you recommend them to hire a GC and let them take it on from there, or get in the trenches with it and find out, just like be there with the budgeting, working with the subs, so you could kind of learn the process?
I would suggest definitely going that route. Get a little bit more hands-on. That way you can understand the process, because in the future, your goal should be to be taking on 2-3 flips, or maybe you're doing new development. So for you to have an understanding of what each step of the process looks like, how the scheduling should go, how to understand where you're at and about what time frame you will be done, I think it's extremely important. It also gains you the connections to the subcontractors, and it's going to save you a lot of money. Then later on down the road, once you have a better understanding of what the process is supposed to look like, and now you're taking on 2 to 3 flips at a time, then start using a general contractor.
Yeah, because now you got the confidence.
Correct. And now you'll know if they present you with the bid and it says X amount of dollars for HVAC, man, I could get that done for $3,000.
Exactly.
$3,000 less. They're charging me too much. Or if something is taking 6 months when it should be taking 3 months, you know that now. Because the idea of a contractor is to be completely hands off. You don't have to worry about a thing.
The idea.
Right? Right. So I think in the beginning, and if I went back, I would do it again that way. I've had a good experience with my contractor so far. But if I went back, I would do it myself.
Yeah. I think again, this is for anybody that's looking to get in real estate, especially if you're looking to get in development. I always recommend do a flip first. Wholesaling is great. You learn how to source a deal, you learn how to analyze a deal, and then you learn how to sell it. But when you do that flip, it's another step, because you learn how to pull the money together. You found a hard money lender. You learn how to manage a contracting team. You found a general contractor, but still, in most situations, you're still going to find yourself, like in this situation, cutting costs on the HVAC. So now, with a flip, which is less of a risk than a development, you got basically all the stepping stones you need to get into development. You know how to find a deal, source it. You know how to find the money, and then you know how to manage a contracting team, which on the development side is all those same things, just on a larger scale.
Correct.
Now, I do feel like development, when it comes to scaling on development, is easier than flips. But I would definitely recommend anyone that wants to get into development to do a flip first, because it's less of a risk. Yeah. It's less of a risk. If you don't know what you're doing in development, you can lose a whole lot of money quick. Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, so like, what's the importance of sourcing your own deals? Like, especially in the market that I would say today's market is tough. you entered, a market that hasn't been forgiven to some investors if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and especially if you're beginning, you've got to find a really good deal, right? Like, you're going to get beat out if you're looking at properties on market by investors that have way more money than you, way more experience than you.
And don't know what they're doing. Some of them don't know what they're doing.
And they can get the work done cheaper than you. So they're going to overpay for properties, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? So being able to go direct to seller and get these properties before anybody else in the world knows about them, for me, is extremely important. It's gonna save you a lot of money, and it's going to help you a lot later on down the road. Whenever you're looking to get into more development deals, because when you get a deal $25,000 less than going on market, and you're 6 months into a deal and something happens and the market shifts, interest rates go up, that $25,000 might be the make or break difference right there.
Exactly.
And if you went direct to seller, you cut out agents, which will cost you 6% typically. Or 3% on buying a property, which can make on a $500,000 house $15,000, or a wholesaler that might be making $25,000 to $30,000 assigning this deal to you, or both. Which happened in my situation when I was looking for my flip. So I found this property on market, and I put an offer in of it of $275,000, and I was told that we got beat out by someone else. 2 weeks later, that deal circled back around to me from a wholesaler that had locked it up on market.
Yeah, so you saw.
Yeah. So I had to pay the wholesaler, and I had to pay my agent, who brought the deal to me still, because he was a fix and flipper himself.
Now, the deal that you made $32,000 on, you could have bought it $32,000 less than the next guy.
Exactly.
It was still a good deal for him. I almost bought the deal for me. It was a good. I don't care about your fee. Like, at the end of the day, you send me a deal at a price and it makes sense, I'll pay it. But whenever you go direct to seller and you learn how to source your deals, then you also see, okay, when the market adjusts, I can adjust.
Correct.
And you said something key, like that could be the margin for a lot of people in their deals. Whereas when you're sourcing your own deals, yes, a market shift can affect you. It will affect you, but it's not going to put you out. It's not going to break you. I know some people that a 15% market shift made them lose $30,000.
Right.
So what's some ways that you sourcing deals right now off market?
So right now I have a cold calling company that goes direct to seller for me. And then I have some door hangers made up that while I'm driving for dollars, I write the property's address down. I put a door hanger on their door. Don't put it in their mailbox. So no. I got cussed out. Got cussed out by a postman for doing that. And so driving for dollars, just skip tracing vacant homes, properties, a lot of them in the area that I'm doing the flipping, because I would like to do another one in that area. And those are my two main sources. Whenever I have some more time freed up, I'll do a little bit more agent outreach. I think that's really, really popular right now. If you can have an agent just bring you a deal before it ever hits the market, that's huge. That's a pocket listing. It costs you no money, and you're still getting to it before anybody else. So I would consider that really inbound marketing once you get the relationships built. So that's something I really plan on diving into heavy once this flip's completed and I'm able to not exit my business that I'm in.
Bro, relationships it's ridiculous in this business. At the end of the day, I always say when it comes to agents and investors, you got to learn how to work together. Because what's the number one thing an agent need? A client.
Absolutely.
What's the number one thing an investor need?
A client.
A deal. A deal. So the agent bring the deal to the investor the client for the agent. That's how they get paid. This is how we make money. So it's not like we stepping on each other's toes. We have a strategic partnership where we both get paid, So you got situations where you offer the agent, hey, you bring me a good deal, I'll let you represent me on it. I'll buy it listed, let you represent the listing. So once the agent see that, hey, this is an investor that I could work with, this is someone that's going to perform and be consistent, bro, you got somebody that's literally a bird dog at this point. Like they're in there looking for deals for you. And when they find good deals, once they prove that, hey, Ryan, this is a good person to work with, they're going to let you know, hey, Ryan, I got another one for you. So Agent outreach is, man, it's been working for us a lot lately.
Well, once you
in the
perform
market.
on a deal, you bring value to them and you prove to them that, hey, I can get these properties bought quick. And so they're going to be quick to reach out to you and send the really good deals directly to you before anybody else in the country sees them.
Nah, exactly, bro. So, you know, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Do you read? You read books or anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, like, tell me like the top 5 books. You know, just some books that stuck out to you in the past that someone else would benefit from.
Yeah, so I would say one of my biggest ones is The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. Schwartz.
Okay.
It's basically a book about how to change your mindset to think positively and to think of the bigger picture always, to always see the positive in everything, never think negatively. I just got done reading The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, which I'm on 4 or 5 weeks of waking up at 5 a.m. every day. I've gotten a lot more done. It's helped me get a routine going and really teach me discipline. Because I know that once I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I'm going to need that discipline. Those two, the Burt Method book, obviously, I think is a huge one for anybody looking to get into real estate. I haven't read Think and Grow Rich, but that's on my list of things to do.
It's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a big one to tackle.
One of my favorite books that I've read actually is completely at a different trajectory, and it's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
I heard that
by
one was
Deepak
a good one.
Chopra. It really changed my perspective on life in general. I was always money, 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 party, party, party. I want bottle service. I want this. I want that. And then I started getting a lot of those things when I started making good money, and it didn't bring me any fulfillment in life. So it really helped me find a different perspective on life and just finding fulfillment in other areas of life.
Yeah. And we all got to go through that, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, it's funny. Like, you start off with this thing, this goal, this thing you want to get. Most of the time it's materialistic, and you get it, and you enjoy it, you know, the watch, the car, the shoes, the clothes, but it's never enough. It's always more. You know, you always feel like, damn, what am I missing? But then when you start experiencing, I'm spending quality time with my son. I'm helping take care of my family. I don't know, your mother, you know, your father, something like that. Those things is lasting. You know, I always say, like, if you was to ask me to explain the best feeling in life in one word, it's security. Because at the end of the day, when you feel secure, you're free. And if you're free, what else is it to ask for? What else is it? That's why you wanted to get out your job, right?
100%.
Be free. I hear you say the word financial freedom a lot, which at the end of the day, to be financially free, you're gonna have to be secure. So I'm glad that you bring that up, because in this entrepreneur lifestyle, you can't get caught up in just the money, the action, the result, the result. I will actually say that I've gotten my best breakthroughs whenever I started looking inward instead of outward and saying, okay, look, I'm at a point where I might be a little stuck, because you go get there. You know, at the end of the day, in entrepreneurship, you got to shoot for higher highs and higher lows. The key word is you go have highs and lows at every phase. I don't care if you Bill Gates or Elon Musk. You go have lows. But at the end of the day, it's how you deal with it. How you deal with life is we all live in life. We all walking a path in our shoes. Nobody lives a perfect life. So true wealth to me is when, of course, yes, you're wealthy, in your pockets, money, because you need money for everything in life. But at the end of the day, are you healthy? Do you have a great relationship with the people you love? Are you spending like present time with them? Also, do you have a relationship with our Creator? You know, these are other things that matter, and we get caught up in this simulation where most people chasing the bag and don't even get time to think about that. You know, really 99% of people. So
it's funny you say that, because recently I've really took a step back and looked at what's my why. And, you know, I used to go to the gym, and my why was, I want to look good, man. Like, I want that sex appeal. So now I changed my why to, I want to be healthy for my family. Right? So that I don't have health problems later on down the road, because that's a lot more important to me now. And it's completely changed my outlook on going to the gym. It's made it easier. And it's made it a lot more enjoyable because I don't care about how I look anymore, man. Like, I care about being healthy for my family. I care about the discipline that it gives me just in life in general. Like, people who make it to the gym every single day, they're disciplined, man. And if you're going to be disciplined in that, it's going to carry over into other aspects of your life.
Exactly.
Right?
And that other stuff going to take care of itself.
Absolutely.
That's why people say it's a byproduct. So, man, I appreciate you for coming up on here, telling your story. This is going to inspire a lot of people, bro, because you got a lot of people, a lot of Ryans out there that's in their job. They may be doing well, they may not be doing well, but they know that there's more out there for them. And also, they got people depending on them that they need to be more present for. So, I'm looking forward to you to accomplishing all your goals, bro.
Thanks, man.
And we here with you along the way. So.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. We out.